Welcome class to Kitchen 101, where we teach you how to think like a chef. How to cook, not what to cook, giving you the knowledge and comfort you need to create and modify recipes to fit your chosen way of eating and lifestyle. Today we're going to discuss the incredible edible egg. So go ahead and grab yourself a pen, paper, and an egg timer, because I'm Professor Kitchen and class is in session. Amazing huevos. Is there anything more ubiquitous in the modern kitchen than an egg? I don't think so. Nearly every recipe that you come across, at least if it's going into an oven, it's going to require a chicken egg or an egg of some sort. Why? Why are eggs just everywhere? What is it about an egg that makes it so appetizing? Well, I mean, they are pretty to look at, and they come in a bunch of different colors. You have like this white one. You have brown ones. You can have some green ones, oddly enough. And these really cool, pretty speckled kind too. And I'm sure there's other kinds out there. But no, it's not the outside that makes an egg so amazing. It's what's on the inside. It's how powerful an egg is. When you think about it, an egg is designed to be able to take a small cluster of cells and grow it into an animal that's strong enough to be able to exist outside the shell, whether that be a chicken, a lizard, or a platypus, able to sustain itself. That means that an egg has a whole lot of energy and a whole lot of nutrition inside of it. And it can do multiple things for dishes that you're creating. Today I have a list of 8 different things that an egg can do for your dishes. First, an egg is a great binder. What I mean by that, it tends to hold things together. That's a lot of the reasons you see it inside of pancake or muffin recipes, is it holds the bread all together. How does it do this? Eggs have a ton of protein in them, and proteins are strings of amino acids that are all coiled up together. And when you do something like beat an egg or cook it, the proteins denature themselves, they untangle themselves and they stretch out. And if you've ever had a box full of extension cords, you know what happens when you have a bunch of long cables thrown together in one small place. They all wrap around each other. That's what's happening with eggs. If you put an egg inside a meatloaf or you put an egg inside a muffin, part of what it's doing is it's creating a binder to hold everything together. Another thing that eggs do is be an emulsifier. What is an emulsifier? An emulsifier is something that holds water and oil together. If you've ever eaten a hollandaise sauce, that's an emulsification. Mayonnaise, an emulsification. A bunch of different things out there that we use on a day-to-day basis is a mixture of oil and water. About your favorite Italian dressing. Most likely it's an emulsification of oil and vinegar along with some spices. The third thing I want to talk about that eggs do is add moisture. Eggs are full of fat, and unlike water, fat will not evaporate when you cook it. So whatever fat you add to a dish will stay in there and will be very moist in your mouth or when you pick it up. In fact, if you take a muffin or a pancake or a biscuit or whatever and you add too much fat to it, you're going to have a hard time picking it up because it's just going to fall apart because the fat in there has made it so moist. Leavening. Believe it or not, an egg can help you make leavening. How? Take for instance the angel food cake. Angel food cake is leavened 100% with egg whites and air. What you do is you take the egg whites and you mix them up and you pump a lot of air into there with your mixer. Then when you bake that angel food cake, those proteins binding we just talked about create air pockets in there. And when the cake heats up, that air expands and creates leavening. The fifth thing that an egg can do is add lightness to your dish. Ever had a meringue? That's nothing but an egg white beaten the same way as with the angel food cake. Put air into it and it creates this light, fluffy texture. Works really great on a dense pie like a lemon pie. Therefore you get lemon meringue pie. Very tasty. Bulk. Eggs add bulk. There's about 50 grams of mass inside a large chicken egg. When you're working with baking especially, really what you got going on is a complex chemical reaction that requires a certain amount of mass to work properly. Adding an egg adds a certain amount of mass to your dish. The seventh thing that eggs add to your dish is color. The yolk especially is what we're talking about. If you've ever taken and mixed a yolk with something white like sugar or cream cheese, you've noticed that it turns yellow. That's a beautiful yellow color in that yolk coming out. Some recipes require that color in order to make it look appetizing. The eighth thing we want to talk about that eggs do for your dish is add what's called mouthfeel. Mouthfeel is how your mouth registers the food you're eating. I'm not talking about taste. I'm talking about the way it actually feels in your mouth. Fat makes your mouth think that it's very full. If you've ever had a soup that was very thin, just had a couple vegetables or whatnot in there, didn't have any bone broth or anything thick inside of it, it kind of tasted or felt in your mouth, whether it tasted good or bad, it felt in your mouth kind of like you were drinking water with chunkies in it. Fat helps your mouth think that you're full. If you have a soup, like we were just talking about, and you add a little fat to it, emulsify that in there, what that'll do is help your mouth think you have more in there and help your brain think you're fuller. That's one of the reasons that egg drop soup can be so filling as opposed to many other soups. Well, that's it. That's our 8 things that we've listed that eggs can do for your dish. Did I miss anything? Please let me know down in the comments. And as always, please click the subscribe button if you want to see more, and make sure you click that bell so you get notified. Thank you, class, for coming today. I hope you learned something. Have a great week. God bless. Class, dismissed. The amazing weaver. Yeah? Try that again. In the American kitchen, then a chicken egg? No. Try that again. The amazing... Is there anything more ubiquitous in the Stop. I lost completely my train of thought. Oh, I forgot what it was. The 5th thing that eggs do is add lightness. The 7th that works really great on what's the name of the pie?